So I'm going to teach you how to turn on the UV Vis first. Now first you want to make sure that you are logged on to the computer. If not, the password and username are written right here, as well as the instructions on how to turn it on. So first you want to click on this icon right here that says Instrument 1 Online, and then press Cancel. Next, we want to come over to the UV Vis instrument and press the power button located right here. You wait until the orange light on the front turns green. Next, you want to turn on the lamps. If your spectrum includes wavelengths under 350 nanometers, you want to include the big lamp as well. So first you'll turn on the small lamp, which you click on, then press lamp on, and you wait for the light on the front of the machine to turn green. Then, if you want to include those lower wavelengths, you click on the big lamp and turn that lamp on as well, and then wait for the button on the front to turn green. After the UV has been warming up for 30 minutes, you can set up the measurements on the computer. So first you want to go to Instrument, set up Spectrophotometer, and you want to pick what your wavelength range is. Now, the range that I want is between 190 and 350. And then you want to make sure that the integration time is always 2 seconds. And then you press OK. Next, I want to make sure that this is on fixed wavelengths if I want to know the absorbance at a specific wavelength, or I can go to spectrum/peaks if I want the entire spectrum. Now, I'm going to select fixed wavelengths, go to Setup, and then type in the wavelengths that I want. So I want 255. And then this is the display spectrum, which will show you between a specific range. And I want 240 to 300. And then if you want a box to pop up for you to type in the name of the sample, you have prompt for sample information on. Then you press OK. For serial dilutions, you need the sample that you're diluting, 2 volumetrics, 1 for each dilution, caps, a small beaker, 2 pipettes, a micropipette, micropipette tips, and your solvent of choice. So, since my sample is VBT, the first thing I'm going to do is label my clean volumetrics. And I'm going to label them VBT 10 to the negative 1 for the first dilution, and VBT 10 to the negative 2 for the second dilution. So, the next thing you want to do is put a tip on your micropipette. So you're going to take 1 milliliter of your sample from your large volumetric. So I have put the tip onto the micropipette. I'm going to insert it in just so it's barely touching the solution. Put it down, push down to the first stop, slowly release and take up 1 milliliter, make sure there are no bubbles within, and then take my 10 to the minus 1 dilution, put the micropipette in, and push down to the second stop. So then, once you have 1 milliliter inside, you want to fill up to this line with your solvent. Ours is ethyl acetate. So you're just going to pipette that in. And then you're going to cap it and mix it. Vent it because we have a volatile solvent. Mix a little more, and you should be good to go. Now, to take your second dilution, you're going to take 1 milliliter using the micropipette from this volumetric. But the pipettes don't actually fit into the volumetric, so what I like to do is pour it into a clean little baby beaker. And then take 1 milliliter using my micropipette. So again, first stop, put it in, slowly release and take up 1 milliliter. Whoops, I have a bubble. We're gonna try that again. Go to the first stop, insert, slowly take up 1 milliliter, and then release down to the second stop. And then I'm gonna pipette with this clean pipette my first dilution back into the volumetric. And now with this dilution, I'm gonna once again fill it up to the line with ethyl acetate. And then cap it and mix. And mix. And that's how you do serial dilutions. When taking a measurement, the first step is to create a blank. Now for a blank, you need a cuvette, your solvent, a pipette, a waste beaker, and Kimwipes. So first you want to pick your cuvette. You use quartz for UV wavelengths, and then you can use a plastic cuvette for visible light. Before you take your blank, you want to rinse your cuvette with solvent 6 times. So you take a pipette of your solvent and just rinse around and dump into your waste beaker. And then you want to tap and dry again. And then fill it up to about this blue line with your solvent. You don't have to fill it up all the way though, because the UV measures down here. And then you want to take the cap, place it on top, and use another Kimwipe to wipe the clear sides, because the cuvette has clear sides and frosted sides, and you want to be careful to only touch the frosted sides. Once your cuvette is filled with solvent, you want to bring it over to the UV. And place it in so that the clear sides are facing the front and back. So you insert it into the hole, push down this lever, and then press blank on the front. And then you come over to the computer and once the light on the machine turns green, your blank will pop up. Okay, and this looks like how I want my blank to look, with some noise over here and then a flat line here. So I'm going to minimize that. And then come back over to the machine, push up the lever so I can take out my blank and bring it over to my workstation. Blank into my waste, and once again tap dry. To take your sample, you still need your cuvette, and you also need your dilutions that you made earlier, another clean pipette, your solvent, your Kim wipes, and your waste. So you want to make sure that your cuvette is nice and dry from tapping, and mine looks good. And then you're going to take your more dilute sample, which is our second dilution, which we nicely labeled VBT 10 to the negative 2, and use your clean pipette to fill up to about the sun on the cuvette. It doesn't need to go all the way up to the line, because then we won't have enough sample using these small volumetrics. Normally I like to think that about there is good. So, just like before, I'm going to put on the cap, touching only the frosted sides, and wipe it clean with a Kim wipe, just in case I have any fingerprints on there. And then I'm going to bring it back over to the UV, put it into this hole, push it down, push down the lever, and then I'm going to press the sample button on the front of the machine. And then I'm going to type into this box what I have. So I have VBT, second dilution, and then I'm going to label this 1A. And you want to make sure that the absorbance that pops up right here is between 0.2 and 2. If this is too dilute, so the absorbance is below 0.2, we want to move up to our next dilution, which would be the first dilution that we made. And if it was above 2, we would want to make another dilution. Like before, you want to push up on this lever and then take out your sample and carry it back over to your workstation. And then you can dump it into your waste. If you're going to take another measurement of the same sample, you can just tap this dry and fill it with more of the same sample without rinsing. But if you're going to take a different sample, you want to once again rinse your cuvette 6 times with ethyl acetate. So when you're all done taking your measurements, you can go File, Save, Samples As. And then I want to be in the VBT folder that says Rebecca, and there's an 8-character limit on what you can save your samples as. So I'm going to do the last 2 pages of the last 2 numbers of my notebook, which is 29 dash the page number I'm on, which is 11, and then a V for VBT, and then press OK. When it's time to print, you can lift this up a little and X out of your blank so it will all be on one page, and then go to File, Print, Current View. If you want to delete one of your samples, you can click on it on the spectra. Say I want that one right there, and then you can press Delete Selected Sample. If you want to clear all of your spectra, you go to Clear Samples. When you're all done, you want to once again rinse your cuvette 6 times with your solvent. And then you want to tap it dry. And when it's nice and dry, you can return it to this box and put the cap back to. At the end of the day, you want to turn off the UV Vis. You do this by first clicking on the big lamp, and clicking lamp off. And then you click on the smaller lamp and click lamp off. After that, you can come over to the machine and press the power button. Then you can come back to the computer and press the X in the corner and then OK. So today I'm going to teach you how to take cereal dilutions. So first you're going to need your cereal of choice. I prefer Cocoa Puffs, some milk, a bowl, a spoon, a Jabberwocky,